What's going on, y'all? Y'all know what time it is. Time for news for dudes and information women can use. I want to touch bases with y'all on how to be successful. And most of this that I'm going to tell you is based on being an entrepreneur. But you can also use these traits in every facet of your life, whether it's your relationship, whether it's your job, whether it's something some goals, some personal goals you have in mind. You can use most of these traits to succeed at those. Let me tell you a little bit about myself before I get into the nitty gritty. I'm just an average Joe. I grew up dirt poor in Detroit. I represent the Motor City to the fullest. I'm old school Detroit. That's what I am. I've moved away from there, but I'm still, Detroit till I die. But I grew up dirt poor, and I learned that's the reason why I learned how to be an entrepreneur, because I didn't have much money. And as a teenager, or a teenager in Detroit, not having enough money is gruesome. So I had to figure out ways to make some money to get some of the things that I wanted. I remember I first started off cutting my neighbor's grass and taking out their trash to make extra money. And I did it basically to get snacks. We would cut grass, me and my best friend, we would cut grass just to make sure we had money to have Little Caesar's pizza at the end of the week. We would go to Little Caesar and just pig out. That was our thing. And after then, I started doing stuff like selling candy in school and doing other things. I did some things that I'm not proud of. Nothing spooky, but I got into some trouble. But I rebound from that, and I still had those entrepreneur state of mind. Everything that I came across especially everything that I liked, that I came across, I thought it was a way to make money. And I remember one of the turning points was my grandmother. She worked hard, and I came home, and I wanted the Run DMC shell-toed Adidas. And I told my grandmother, and I wanted some shell-toed Adidas, and she said, "I'm not buying those for you." And I pouted around for a bit until she came around and said, "If you want those Adidas, you're going to have to give me half of the money." At the time, they were only like $30, but in the 80s, $30 was like $100. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to get half of this money. I went out and cut grass and took out some trash and got up half of the money. Actually, I got up more than half of the money. I was able to get half of the money plus enough money to buy me an Adidas jogging suit and a Kango hat, because that was the thing back then. I was Run DMC'd out. And I did that and discovered that I could make money. And for the rest of my life, I've been geared towards starting businesses. And I've started a lot of businesses, and I've failed at several businesses. But keeping the state of mind that I taught myself about how to be successful, I ended up having a t-shirt business. I started my personal training business. Actually, I started my personal training business in the park and moved it to my garage, and outgrew my garage to where I got my own personal training studio. And that took off. I did very well at it until COVID hit. And of course, if you remember COVID, the first businesses that they told to close down were fitness businesses. And I had to close my fitness business and figure out ways to still make money. And I was able to pay the bills of my brick and mortar building by doing other business stuff. And after the quarantine was lifted, I came up with other ways to make money. I started another business, and it took off, and it done very well. And because of the things I'm about to tell you, is why I consistently am successful at what I do. So we'll start off by talking about what's important. All of these are important. And I'm going to give you a list from 6 to 1 of what I feel is important. I really can't tell you that one is more important than the other ones. Well, I think one is very important, and I've missed the boat several times with one, but that's the one I'm going to save to the end. I'm going to start off with saying with number 6. Number 6 is positivity. You have to go into everything that you do with a positive state of mind. If you do not have a positive mindset, if you believe you're going to fail, you're going to fail. No way around it. If you wrap your head around something and say, I'm not going to be able to do that, eventually you're not going to be able to do that. If you feel like people are not going to support you, they're not going to support you. You have to go into business thinking. You have to go in relationships thinking. You have to go into a new job thinking you're going to succeed at it. No matter what it is, you have to have positivity. They tell you the faith of a mustard seed can crush mountains. Have you seen the size of a mustard seed? And I said that wrong. The faith of a mustard seed can build mountains. But I believe that if you have just that much of negativity, you can destroy it as well. So going in, number 6 is positivity. Stay positive, people. Stay motivated. Keep the right frame of mind while doing this. And we'll quickly go to number 5. Number 5 is planning. They say if you don't have a plan, you plan to fail. And it's true. Do your research. Do your due diligence on finding out what the market for whatever it is you want to do. Make sure that you plan it out from A to Z. I've went into business spontaneously. I've done that. And most of the time I've done that, I'm not going to say all the time, most of the time I've done that, it eventually failed because I did not plan what happens next. I did not plan on what would or wouldn't happen if I did not do X, Y, or Z. If I made money from this, how do I keep this going? I did not have a plan on my next steps. So eventually, that business began to fail because everything changes. So you have to have a plan. You have to have the thought pattern of what will happen if my distributor does not give me access to what I need anymore. What if they go under? Then you go under. And again, you can apply this to your job, because if you do not plan how you're going to get to the next level of your job, then you're not going to get to that level. You're going to be stuck in the same situation until that situation comes to an end, or you get tired of being in that situation. You have to make a plan. You have to plan out every part of starting a business, maintaining a business, succeeding at a business. You have to plan that out. And you have to plan it out with your relationships, because relationships are just like business and jobs. It's bound to change. People change. What are you going to do when the time comes to change? You can't keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting something to grow. You can't. It eventually will get stagnated. If you're growing plants, that plant may grow in that pot. You are watering it. You are even fertilizing it. but it can't stay in that pot forever. It's going to outgrow that pot. If you don't change that pot, that plant will eventually start to die because it has no more room to grow. Think about it. And we're going to go to the next one, number 4. Number 4 is being needed. That's what number 4 is, being needed. You cannot expect to succeed if you're not an asset to someone. You can't. And that's in a relationship, that's in a job, that's in business. If you're not needed, if you do not add value to other people, to someone else, you cannot succeed. It's not about you. It's not about what makes you happy. It's about what makes other people happy. And if it makes you happy to make other people happy, then you will definitely succeed. But I know you feel like you want whatever it is in life to be wanted by people. And that's a wonderful thought, because that's how I feel about relationships. I want to be wanted. I want to be needed. I want to be wanted. Yeah, please want me. No. Being needed is an asset, is being an asset. People will pay for what they need. People have an option on what they want. And what they want, they may never, ever, ever go out to get. But they always will go out to get what they need. So keep that in mind. That's the best way I can say it. Be an asset. Add value to other people. That's how you succeed at everything. Stop going to work doing the bare minimum, thinking that's not my job to do that. Because you're going to stay in that same job, making that same amount of money. And if that amount of money, stop. If that amount of money is your success, if that's what you feel is your success, you're okay with making that same amount of money and getting the necessary yearly raises that they give. If that's what it is, then I'm okay with that. You know, some people like to live in that situation. But if you want to go to the next level of the game, if you want to go to the next level of your job, you want to be needed. Step out of your comfort zone and do things that makes you needed in that job. Now, we're going to go to the next one. And the next one is do things, in my opinion, that you're passionate about. That's right. Do things that you're passionate about. If you're not passionate about it, you'll lose the drive and you won't give your all if you are not passionate. So I feel you should do things that you're passionate about. Do things that you love. Do things that drive you. Do things that they have the saying that if you love what you do, you never work a day. Do things that doesn't feel like work to you because you love it. And when you lose that zeal, when you lose that passion for whatever it is that you have in your life, then you end up losing that thing. You can't be successful when you're not happy. I think happiness is the ultimate part of success. It does not necessarily have to have a monetary value if you're happy. So whatever you do, if it makes you happy that you do it, if it makes you happy how people respond to what you do, then do it. Your success is your happiness. And we're going to go to the next one, which is very important if you want to be successful in all realms of life, and that's persistence and consistency. They go hand in hand. You got to be persistent. You got to keep knocking on the door. Eventually, someone's going to answer. You got to keep moving. You got to keep doing something. You got to keep it in their face. I'm not big on commercials. I'm really not. I'm not big on commercials. I rarely ever see a commercial that makes me want a cheeseburger. I rarely ever see a commercial that makes me want to go out and buy something. Unless it's a hell of a deal, because I'm frugal. I like to save money. Don't you like to save money? I like to save money. If I see a commercial about it could be something I like. Like right now, I keep seeing these Reese Cup commercials, and I like Reese Cups. I'm not supposed to be eating them, but I like them. But no commercial makes me want to go out. Ooh, let me go out and buy that Reese Cup. No, it doesn't work for me, but it works for somebody. The reason why McDonald's has commercials, everybody goes to McDonald's. Well, maybe not everybody, but a lot of people go to McDonald's. They're a very successful business, and you do not have to see a commercial to want McDonald's. Burger King, whatever it is your thing is, if you want it, you know where it's at, you go out and get it. But it works for somebody. And you constantly see these commercials because it works for somebody. So you have to be persistent, and you got to be consistent. You got to give good treatment over and over and over and over again. One mistake can cause your business to flatline. One mistake, one bad day, you can lose customers. If you cook for a living, if that's what you like, if your food doesn't taste like it tasted last week, I'm probably not coming back. Because I think you got a new cook. You change the recipe. It don't taste the same. I don't like it. I ain't coming back. You don't make money. I'm just one person. Now think about all the rest of the people. And then what are they going to say about your cooking? Last time I went, that stuff wasn't good. That's another company, another customer who they have deterred from coming to your business. And that could be your job. Consistency is key. Work hard every day. Don't just work hard in the beginning, and once you get settled in that job, you get lackadaisical and stop working as hard. No, be consistent. Give them the best. My dad always told me, not always, but he told me, whatever you do, be the best at it all the time. Whatever it is that you do. So whatever I'm going to do, I'm going to apply all that I know to apply. I'm going to be the best. And if it's something that the market is changing in, I'm going to research constantly so I can be part of that changing market so that I can evolve with the market for that set business. So that's key. Now, I told you I was going to save the best one to the end. And number one, and I've missed this several times because I'm an entrepreneur and I'm a hands-on person and I like doing things on my own. But I've missed this boat several times. Number one to being successful is creating a team, being part of a team. Team building skills is awesome, but especially in business, if you create a team, you're successful. No successful business. And when I say successful, I mean $1 million businesses, 6-figure and above. No successful business can run without a team. You need someone to do the things that you can't do. You need someone to do the things that you're not willing to do. You need someone to do things that you do not know about. You need someone for marketing. You need someone to deal with distributors if you don't know how to deal with the distributors. If you're the person who deals with distributors and you know how to get the cheapest products, then that's your job. You need someone to be a social media expert because that's a big thing now. Social media. Think about it. That's a big thing. If you're not into social media, you need someone who understands and knows advertisement. You need someone who knows and understands how to send out emails. You need someone to do the things you don't have time to do. That's the key. And keep all of this in mind when going forward in life, that it takes certain traits to be successful. You can do anything you choose to do if you stick to these traits. With that being said, this is news for dudes and information women can use. Thank y'all for watching, and I'm out of here.